Hey guys, it's Nathan from the Kentucky Cycling YouTube channel. We are in Key West, Florida, where my wife and I are celebrating our 25th wedding anniversary a few months early with a trip where we're escaping the winter weather going on right now in Kentucky and heading south to the Keys. Key West is actually known for being extremely bike friendly, with more than 20% of its population cycling to work each day. And if you're a tourist here, that is the preferred way to get around. Just park your car. Parking is hard to find sometimes, and then go for a bike ride. So when I looked at what I wanted to do in terms of experiencing and exploring Key West, I looked online and I found a couple of different routes kind of looping around the island as a way to explore. And I'm very excited to do this with my sweetie. We actually picked this route from a site called Coleman Concierge, and there are other routes available on like All Trails and things like that as well. So if you're interested in this particular route that we're doing, look in the description for the YouTube video, and I'll include a Ride with GPS link. I want to give a special shout out to my buddy Mark, who is a longtime Key West fanboy and has been here many times, and I've heard about it enough that got inspired to come and check out this myself. So looking forward to exploring Key West on the seat of a bicycle.
There's a plethora of bike shops that offer rentals on the island, and most offer delivery service to where you are staying. We went with Eaton Bikes simply because they were a short walk from our bed and breakfast in Old Town. But the nice thing about the route being a loop is that you can pick it up from wherever you are staying. One thing that's important to note is that in Key West, it's okay to ride on the sidewalk, with the exception of Duval Street. As you'll see in this video, a lot of the sidewalks are wide to easily accommodate this. In any case, be sure to yield to pedestrians. Thankfully, in a lot of places where the sidewalk is narrow, there's often a bike lane which offers a nice alternative to riding on the sidewalk. Key West is chock full of history. For example, did you know that several sitting U.S. presidents regularly vacationed here? On Front Street, you'll ride past the Little White House, which Harry Truman used as both a vacation home and functioning White House between 1946 and 1952. One stop we built into our ride was a visit to Fort Zachary Taylor Historic State Park. There's a small admission fee, but it's less for cyclists than cars. Lock up your bike at a rack and take time to explore the fort on foot. On the southern edge of Key West, Fort Taylor predates the Civil War and is a National Historic Monument housing the largest cache of Civil War armament in the world. After getting back on your bike, follow signs for bike trails and get great views of the fort, as well as the ocean to the west and a beautiful beach on the south side of the park. After leaving the park, you'll stroll through more historic streets and past beautiful old homes, and zigzag your way over to Whitehead Street. After turning onto Whitehead Street, you might want to stop and tour the Hemingway Home and Museum. Famous author Ernest Hemingway lived here. He wrote several books here, including finishing his timeless classic, A Farewell to Arms. Hemingway also wrote my favorite bicycle quote, which reads, "It is by riding a bicycle that you learn the contours of a country best, since you have to sweat up the hills and coast down them." While there aren't many hills for him to have sweated up in Key West, it's fun to think about riding down the same streets that he did. Just 4/10 of a mile from the Hemingway home, at the intersection of Whitehead and South Streets, you'll reach the iconic southernmost point of the continental United States. Assuming you'll want to get your picture in front of the buoy, you'll need to park your bike and grab a spot in the conch train. Buddy up to someone close in line with you and take turns snapping pics of each other before hopping back on your bikes. At the end of Reynolds Street lies Higgs Beach, which includes many sights worth seeing. Our personal favorite is the West Martello Gardens and Fort, operated by the Key West Garden Club. This tropical garden, which operates on donations, is housed on the site of a former Civil War fort, with wonderful architecture and provides some amazing views of the Atlantic. At the end of Smathers Beach, you'll begin pedaling right along the Atlantic with water views as far as the eye can see. There's also a really good chance you'll be pedaling into a headwind, but don't worry. Once you get to the other side of the island, you'll feel a bit like Superman with the wind at your back. When you reach the intersection of North Roosevelt Boulevard and the Overseas Highway, be sure to exercise caution when crossing over the highway. We found that you shouldn't rely on the crosswalk signal to be an indicator of when it's safe to cross, especially as cars are turning right onto the highway. If you're interested in tacking on a few more miles to your ride, we found that continuing northeast on the Overseas Heritage Trail and looping around Stock Island, as suggested by the folks at Coleman Concierge, was a good way to go. Overall, it's not as scenic as the rest of the ride, but it does take you alongside of the Key West Golf Club as well as to the Key West Botanical Garden. As we entered the last mile of our ride and began making our way back to the bike shop, I felt really grateful to have had the opportunity to have this experience. I love exploring new places by bike, and it was especially fun to now be able to say that I arrived at the southernmost point of the United States on the seat of a bicycle. Most of all, I hope that this will be a useful tool and encourage you to get out and have your own adventure.
As always, we hope you found this content useful. If you did, please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks.